Hello again and welcome back to my channel. My goal is to provide as much value to people as possible and just helping the world out by trying to share what I've learned, and I hope that it's able to help you. So today I want to talk about why I think you should look forward to the hard times. And I know that's kind of something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I'll try and provide some clarity as this video goes along. So some of the best ways that we grow is through pain. Anyone that has worked out or has had a painful experience that they've been able to learn from would know what I'm talking about. Tony Robbins, I'm sure some of you are familiar with him, but if you're not, he is kind of a motivational guy, but he's really smart and he has a lot of good things to learn from if you want to go watch some of his stuff. But he asks a really good question, and he says, how can you make the worst thing in your life actually the best thing in your life that's ever happened to you? So when I think of that question, it takes me back to the time where my mom and I weren't getting along at all. My mom and dad had just gone through a divorce. I was living with my mom and my sister at that time after they had split up. Things were kind of going downhill with her. Eventually she didn't want me living in the house anymore. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was a hard time. It was a 2 or 3 year period where it was just kind of a battle. But I look back on those times now, and I almost don't even see the bad times because of the things that I was able to learn from that. I'm very thankful for my mom, and I still don't really talk to her very much, but I'm very thankful for the things that she's taught me. You know, she taught me how to identify things that aren't positive in a relationship. She taught me how to kind of survive because I didn't really have anywhere to go. Fortunately, I had some friends, my girlfriend and her family. They were really nice when I didn't have anywhere to go after she told me to leave the house. So I learned some survival instincts from that. I learned kind of more nuanced things to look at in a relationship, a proper type of communication, red flags to look out for, the kind of things that eventually I think were really important to me marrying my girlfriend at the time, now that wonderful wife that I keep bringing up if you've seen any of my other videos. But I was able to apply that to my relationship with her and see, okay, these are the things that I want in my wife. And a lot of that comes from learning from my parents' divorce too. I got to learn a lot of what you shouldn't do in a marriage and maybe a couple things that you should do in a marriage, but it wasn't real great at the time, but they had a decent marriage at one point. Something else I learned from that is boundaries. Setting boundaries in any relationship is a really good thing to do, in my opinion. Whether you're close to someone or not, it's just important to be able to know when you should say no and not feel guilty about those kind of things, because it's important to make sure that you do the things that you need to do for yourself so that you're able to be strong enough to work on the relationships that you're trying to maintain or improve upon. So the point of me sharing all that is because we know there are going to be hard times. Life is hard. We know there's going to be things that happen, whether someone we love dies or a relationship you thought was going well ends up not going well, and those are the days that are hard. It hurts. It's heartbreak. But those are also the days where we can make a lot of positive impact on ourselves, because if you're able to kind of set the pain aside while you're in the moment, you can start picking out the things that are valuable to you that you're going to be able to apply to the rest of your life to try and not make those things happen again. And I know, the death of a loved one is hard, and maybe there's not any way that you can apply that to your life to make it easier in the future, but maybe you're able to take advantage of that time to be the pillar in your family for someone that maybe is having a harder time with it. Or maybe, if you have any kids or young people that look up to you, you're able to explain things and be there for them through the pain. Something else that's going on in my life right now is I have 2 dads that are going through a really hard time. My dad had a stroke and kind of became handicapped for a few months. Fortunately, he's walking again, but he also got diagnosed with cancer about a month or 2 after that. And then my father-in-law's leukemia came back after 30 years, and he's actually in the hospital right now. He's been in there for about 3 weeks as he's trying to recover from stem cell transplants and all this complicated stuff. It's hard. It's really hard seeing them go through this. You feel helpless. You feel like there's nothing that you can do to help them. But that's not true. We all can be supportive. We can all check up on them, see if there's anything that they need, anything that you can help out with. But the way that I'm really trying to take advantage of these is to try and change my life and my family's life. I don't like feeling like there's not more that I can do. So this is part of the reason why I'm starting this channel, is because I want to try and make a financial impact so that I can, in the future, help pay for some of the things that my father or my father-in-law might need, or even someone else in my family, because we never know when tragedy is going to strike. I'm also using it to try and be emotional support to anyone in my family that needs it. I'm trying to be there for my wife. So there's a lot of ways that we can leverage these painful times into becoming a better person and positively impacting the ones around us. And if you really take the time to let the pain sink in, that's the best opportunity we have to make serious changes. Most of us are making compromises in our life that we don't need to be making, and it's hard to get out of those habits and those things that we don't really want to be doing over living out dreams and making a different type of impact in our lives. So I'm trying to use this time as a motivation and as a spark to change my life and my family's lives for the better. So I would challenge you to think back on any time in your life where things were really hard and see what you might have learned from those times. Maybe it's not even something that you're aware of at the moment, but it's something that you can still look back on now that you're a little bit wiser, a little bit more mature, and be like, okay, I can see how this positively impacted my life from here on out. And maybe that can start to flip the script on you a little bit to try and make positive changes in the future and to not see the bad times as strictly negative times. I know that's something that's been very impactful for me. Honestly, I look back on my life and I don't even see bad times anymore. I just see things that, I wish they could have gone a different way, but I've been able to learn and grow from them so much that I'm thankful for them. If you have some sort of trauma or something that's really, really a stain in your past that you're held up on, ask yourself, how is that the best thing that's ever happened to you? And see where that takes you. I think if you can genuinely ask yourself that question and come up with a good answer for that, that could be the start in changing your life to a more positive potential. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate your time. So like and subscribe if you like. Have a good day.